Hey guys, Book versus TV, Runaway by Harlan Coben. You're here with Vic
Hi.
and Jace. Before we kick off, don't forget to like and follow. So Vic, before we start off with the show, can you tell me what is your favorite TV show and what is your favorite movie?
So, a favourite TV show has to be Blacklist.
Okay.
So, I just love it. So many twists and turns. Did it go on for slightly too long?
Mhm.
Possibly. But you can't knock the twists and turns and the characters. Film. See, I'm torn. It was always a Bone Collector.
Okay.
Again,
Fair enough.
absolutely love it. Although, most recently, Creed and the Creed films.
Creed. Fair enough. You like a bit of a boxer then, yeah.
I do love my martial arts.
That's true. For me, I really loved Interstellar as my movie. I think that movie was awesome. Fun fact: one of my best friends bought that for me for my birthday to watch that in the cinema. So I really enjoyed that movie. My TV show, I'm gonna give it a throwback, and it has to be Oz by HBO, which is a prison series. I really enjoyed it. It's one of the shows that literally I watched every season there was, from start to finish. It's a bit. I only watched it like 3-4 years ago. It came out in the 90s, I think. But it's a prison show and it's really intense, really deep, really emotional. And it's all about a guy's prison. So that was a really good show. That's Oz by HBO. So yeah.
I know.
Thanks. So going back to what we were talking about, book versus TV, Runaway by Harlan Coben. So what do you think about comparing the two?
I think it's really interesting. So they've stayed in lots and lots of ways very, very true to the book.
Okay.
However, there are some big differences.
Okay.
So most biggest one is location. So Runaway Netflix show is set in London and in the UK.
That's a big twist because
The book set in New York and Manhattan.
the book is set in New York.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't, because wouldn't they not? They probably would have had the budget to do that. To be fair, and it might have been easier. But the problem is with that, it might be another throwaway show. With it being in the UK, it's a bit more for Netflix viewers. Knowing a lot of them are in America, it might be a bit of a twist being in the UK because a lot of TV shows on Netflix are in America. So it's a bit of a twist
I think
and a bit of a different culture.
It's an interesting choice. A lot of it stays really, really close. So the plot line is really, really close. But that switch between UK to America, I don't know. Does it change the premise of the book? It doesn't. It's set in New York. Simon and Ingrid still live in a really posh house in Manhattan. Their daughter ends up in kind of the Bronx and the drug dens over there. So it really easily translates between the two countries and the two kind of class systems and social systems. So I don't really think it makes that much difference. It doesn't lose it. Other massive changes. I think most of the massive changes in plot are based around the location change. So you've got, instead of the PI that we've got in the show, who is a white British woman, but chubby. We see that about her. We've got a Mexican chubby PI woman in the book.
Okay, so I mean the weight factor is still pretty.
So the character is still really, really similar. So those character traits are really similar. All you've done is kind of shift where it's from. So I don't think that really makes a massive difference.
Quick question about the PI. Because obviously in the show she plays on the fact of ex-husband's dead. And
so this is what I was coming on to in terms of massive plot differences.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So, and with the ex-husband, did he have an affair with the woman and have a child?
Yeah. So he didn't have an affair.
Not in the. I don't think he had an affair in the TV show.
Not in the TV show. He didn't have an affair, but he did have a daughter
Yeah.
from before his marriage to the PI.
Oh, okay.
So that's how it's dealt with in the show.
Yeah, yeah.
This is where there is the biggest plot difference between the book and the show. So in the book, there is no side quest. So you don't see a really human side to the PI in the book. There is no kind of separate story. So within the Netflix show, you've got her trailing the daughter. You plays really heavily on the relationship between her and her tech woman.
Oh, yes.
Which is her husband's
mother. Yeah.
None of that really happens in the book. That whole series, that whole kind of plot line is just not there.
That side plot,
so the only way we see the PI within the book, within Harlan Coben's book, is doing this case. Nothing outside of this case. The tech guy is referred to, called Lou, but he is a guy and he is no relation. The only time there's little snippets about her dead husband, mostly in her death scene again.
Okay.
So the way the TV show handled that was just amazing.
Yeah, I have to say the way that her death scene was the most... honestly, her character, I started to love her. Like, I started to like think she's an amazing character. And then the way that her death scene happened was so emotional and so impactful. Yeah, it was just like
beautiful.
It was it was sad. It was sad, but it was very much like it was kind of felt like a sigh of relief for her.
Yeah,
like it's upsetting that she dies, but it's the fact of the way they did it, showing her that it kind of feels like she's gonna go and meet her husband.
Yeah,
that's how it felt to me. So
and you get a bit of that in the book. So the death scene is very similar. She walks into that lodge. She realizes what's going on. She sees the tarpaulin on the floor. She's shot in the head. Very, very similar.
Okay.
But what you don't get is that same connection with the character, because the character in the book is just a vessel for unveiling steps of the story. You don't have that emotional connection with her that you have
in the TV show.
Okay. And the same way that in the TV show, you see this really loving relationship blossom between her and Simon Green.
Yeah.
The book deals with it in a much more transactional, non-emotional way. You don't see that beautiful friendship blossom. You see two people working together. There's just not the same depth to it, which I think is sad. However, the really quirky bit to mention is in the adaptation, they take the hidden daughter that the PI finds about runs a vegan restaurant.
So the daughter.
So in the TV show,
the daughter's a very young girl in the TV show.
No, you've got the older one and then her daughter.
Yes. So
the older one, is her husband's daughter, and the little one would be his granddaughter.
Not how it is in the TV show.
Oh no, I put it the wrong way around. Yeah,
in the TV,
the daughter, But you see that there is that vegan cafe setting.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
So what they have done, which I think is really, really, so it's like, why would you choose a vegan cafe setting? But this is where there's bits of the book in it. So this is what I think is really interesting. So Alison in the TV show is the person that has been working, who worked for the adoption agency and dealt with those secret adoptions. And we see her within a really corporate setting. In the TV show, they go in, she's an estate agent or whatever.
Yeah.
In the book, she has changed her identity because she's so scared of the truth finding her.
Yeah.
And she works and runs a vegan restaurant.
Oh, that's interesting.
So they've taken that like vegan restaurant setting, lifted it out of the book and put it into a completely different plot line. But I think it's really nice that there is that connection between the book and the show.
They kind of kept the vegan restaurant, but in a different way.
Yeah. Which I think is really interesting.
That's fair. So going on the fact of one thing I was really frustrated about this TV show, was the dad was trying his hardest to find his daughter, and at every step, it felt like he was getting pushed down for like, for starters, beating up the boyfriend, and then later on when we find out, obviously this is spoilers, but obviously you find out that not only did the aunt know where she was, but also the mother. And it was just like, why is the dad seen as such a outsider of the family, literally, to not know the information about his own daughter?
See, and I think this is where the book handles it a little bit differently. That is still true. So that is still true, that the mum was aware. I'm just trying to think. Actually, I don't think it is. I don't think the second time her mum is aware that she's in rehab. So she does know there's a drug issue and she has taken her to rehab before. That bit is true.
Okay.
No one knows where she is at that period where Ingrid is in a coma.
Yeah.
But you don't get the same feeling of him being shut out. Although it is there,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel so stark as it does in the TV show. It kind of unfolds. It's done in a way of Ingrid's sister, trying to protect her and saying, you don't need to know her past. Like, it will change how you think of her now. And it feels much more like a protection of her sister's history, as opposed to keeping him out of the current. But she does still know about the alleged sexual abuse at uni for Paige that kicked it all off. But I don't know, it just doesn't feel the same.
Is that whole college situation in the book as well?
Yes. Yeah. Slightly different, but still there. And I think this is where you've got that dramatization. In the TV show, the college tutor is made to look like a predator for a lot of it.
Yes, but he is.
He's set up as a predator. Yeah. He's not, but you've got that building. Is he a predator in the TV show? Yeah. That's not really there in the book. He's not framed in that way. He has gone off. He has gone and worked at another uni.
Okay.
But he's more than willing to talk. The way he's described by Paige's friend is very different. There's no like love relationship. It's set up that right from the start, Paige and his relationship was purely professional. Right away, she wanted to go into medicine, and that is why she had that relationship with that tutor. Whereas in the TV show, it's almost made, I don't know if it's almost through the TV show, they're hoping it's an auto-deflect to take people down. He's involved in it in somehow.
Yeah.
But that doesn't come out through the book. In the book, he's really warm. He's set up as nothing but a warm and caring tutor who did his job within a professional environment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is there any major plot differences, except for it being in America and England?
On the side. I think the other really, really interesting big plot difference is the way the truth cult is portrayed.
Okay.
So within the Netflix TV show, you've got the home, the compound, is this beautiful English stately home. It's very green. It feels very serene. It's set up as a place of protection almost from the outside world.
Okay.
The book portrays the truth completely differently. So in stark contrast, the description of the compound for the truth is that it is grey, drab. It's built in a square like a prison compound with a big courtyard in the middle where everyone meets and big signs spray painted that it's the truth. It feels a lot more dark and seedy and wrong from the start. Whereas the way the truth is portrayed in the TV show is kind of, it's green, it's the truth, it's pure, it's simple. Yeah, there's a whole different darker side of the way the truth are portrayed. the other interesting difference is in the TV show, and whether this is a Netflix thing, so it didn't become about religion and you didn't get all of the religious debate as part of it. You know, it sets out the truth. It touches little bits on what the truth stands for and kind of that, how it's built as a religion and a cult.
Mm-hmm.
The book goes into a lot more detail where you've got Dee Dee and Ash and those conversations where he's like, why do you want to be part of the truth?
Mm-hmm.
And we see some of that in the TV show, but it's quite light touch. The book really goes into detail about parables between Christianity and the truth. And like, if you heard this psalm and this passage in the Bible, actually it's no different to what the truth are saying. So Ash is having to go about the way the truth men sleep with multiple women and how that is wrong and why can't she see that that is wrong. And Dee Dee's comeback is, do you remember when we went to church with a foster mum and we heard this story of two daughters being taken to heaven with their dad and then realising there was no men for them to have sex with, so they got their dad drunk and had sex with their dad? And she's like, well, that's in the Bible, so it's no different. Like,
yeah.
So there's a lot more depth to the building of the truth in the book and the parables and that exploration of what is an okay religion and what is a cult.
Yeah.
And where is that line? And is it just because Christianity is such a big embedded religion that it's not seen as like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's a really interesting bit that you don't get. The truths have a very different role to play. In a way, in the TV show, they're a vessel for what has happened, but you don't get that in-depth look at what the truth gives to people and why Dee Dee so badly defends
the truth. Okay.
The other massive plot twist around the truth as well, and Ash and Dee Dee, is in the TV show, you've got them going off to the foster mum that abused them both.
Yes.
And they kill her.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
None of that is in the book.
And that's kind of sad because obviously I'm starting to feel like the TV show, Netflix TV show, gives more character depth.
To Ash and Dee Dee, definitely.
Not only to Ash and Dee Dee, but to the investigator as well. They fleshed her out quite a bit as well, it sounds like.
The book has less, sorry.
Yeah.
So the TV show gives more character depth to the PI.
Yeah, to the PI.
I think the book gives more depth to Dee Dee, but less to Ash.
Oh, but to be fair, in the TV show, I felt, although that Dee Dee, she's the other serial killer, right?
Yeah,
or
so
Holly.
she uses both names depending where she is.
Yeah, so in the TV show, I feel like she isn't the one. She hasn't given much character in the TV show. I find to feel like the TV show is pointing more to the guy, to Ash, and he's the more of the two, the more one that you're looking at.
Yeah, whereas I think in the book it's the other way around. I think the character depth and the connection is more with Dee Dee and Holly than it is with Ash. You don't really know Ash's story. The book doesn't really focus on Ash as anything but a paid-for killer. And it makes it sound like that was his life before Dee Dee paid him as well, because he says, this is what I do well.
Yeah.
So in the TV show, you've kind of got, I don't know whether it was just me, but I kind of got a feeling that Ash was only doing this to help Dee Dee. Whereas in the book, it feels like Ash was already a hit-for-hire killer.
Okay.
Although there is that relationship between Ash and Dee Dee and the history there, it doesn't feel like it plays so much on their relationship as the driver for Ash. Whereas I feel like the TV show plays on that relationship as what keeps Ash going forward.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does play on the relationship between the two and the fact of, I think he loves Dee Dee.
Yeah.
Like a lot, to be fair, but he is a serial killer. Like, so.
And I think that love that he has for her is almost played on more in the book. So when he's at the compound and they attack him, it's about there is a line around, she's having relations with all of these men, and yet you'll never be able to sleep with her.
Okay.
And you wish that you could. So there's that there is that. But yeah, the bit I do find really interesting is how close, not just to the plot line, but to the actual words the Netflix show used. So there are loads of instances where it feels like you have literally lifted the dialogue out of the book and put it straight into the script. Like literally lines mirror each other at certain key points, which I think is a really interesting thing, that you've made all of these other plot differences, which work, I think, in the TV show really, really well. The book works it in a different way. But what you have got is word for word comparison between spoken language in the book and script in the TV show.
That's really interesting, because not a lot of TV show adaptations of books literally take word for word and put it into the, which is nice though, to be fair, because obviously if you're a big fan of Harlan Coben and you read the book and you watch the TV show, you can feel more, I feel like, especially the way that this TV show is done, you probably might feel even more connected to the characters. It's a bit sad, obviously, that once again some of the characters are portrayed like they're outsiders of their own family. I have to say, the dad, I really don't like the way that the dad was portrayed. Well, it might be just the way that the character is built. But what about the landlord, the black landlord?
So how he's portrayed between the two is very, very similar.
Oh, is it?
I think, again, I think he's got more character depth in the TV show, potentially. There is a little bit of his backstory in the book. What is different, and I think that is the vessel for why that character is different in the book and the TV show, is who doesn't play a massive role is the black police detective.
Oh, really? He doesn't play?
So he's really constant in the TV show, right? And it feels very much from the start that he's out to get Simon. He's made his mind up that Simon is the
bad
white,
guy,
rich dad that went and killed. And through the TV show, you see that connection that he's got with the black landlord and how, therefore, he will never look at the black landlord, even though he knows that he fired the gun that shot Luther.
Yeah.
He would never ever, like, he protects the black landlord, which I think is an interesting thing when we're thinking about, they've left out of the TV adaptation the real in-depth look at religion, but what they've replaced that with in a way is this racial, cultural context of white guy versus black guy. And so I think that's interesting, that the strands it pulls on is very different. The book, you barely see the police detective, so there's no relationship between the two police detectives like there is in the book.
Okay.
And we don't see him. Yes, he plants the seeds, so when he goes to the hospital after Ingrid's been shot and Luther's there and there's that ID that was there, that's still there, and he still says, well, the simplest answer is that you killed Aaron or your wife killed Aaron. So that is there, but it doesn't feel as targeted. He doesn't keep showing up. He doesn't turn up at the school and question in front of all of the other parents. He doesn't look so out to get him. So that isn't there in the book. And I just think that's a really interesting thing, that they've taken out all of this stuff around an in-depth look at religion, but they've replaced it with this awkward, like, power struggle between white rich guy
versus
and black detective, which probably they wouldn't have been able to do. It's not in Harlan Coben's book, and it would have had a very different feel, having been set in New York and the differences with police in America. So I think, but it's an interesting thing that they've changed that dynamic, I think, and that the TV show hinges on that quite a lot. Yeah,
I do feel, especially in America, there's a lot more racial divergence between black and white people in that country. So I don't know how it would have been portrayed in the book, if it would have been something that would be very, I don't know, very hard to read for some people. Whereby in England, yes, there's still the black, and it's not as bad as America at all, I don't think. But there are still some issues. But I don't.
But it's interesting that the TV show set in America plays on the TV show set in England plays on those issues where it is missing from the book that is set in America. So I just think that's an interesting. Netflix don't want to touch deeply on the religious connotations of cult versus Christianity, but they're happy to explore a power dynamic
between black and white,
between race.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
It's interesting why they would choose that.
Okay, so wrapping up, what would you give the book out of 10?
You see, when we did his and hers, I went with book over TV.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually think the adaptation I love. I would probably score that higher than the book. The book is great.
Okay.
But the character depth in the TV is better, which is complete opposite of his and hers.
So you're giving the TV...
I would give the TV show an 8. I would give the book not much less, but probably a 7.5.
Fair enough. I really enjoyed the TV show. I think the TV show was awesome. For a decent watch, I'm definitely giving it an 8. I have to give it an 8 because it was very captivating. We watched it night after night, and it was just like, oh, I need to watch it. I need to go and watch. I need to get to watch the show because I need to know what's happening and what's happening with the daughter. So, and yeah, it's definitely a very strong 8 out of 10, probably 8.5 to be fair. And I really enjoyed it. Let me know how you guys think. If you guys have watched the TV show, if you guys read the book, put it down in the comment blocks below. I've been Jace. This is Vic. With Popcorn, the show where TV and film take center stage. Don't forget to like and share. Cheers, guys.